Hello my friend, welcome back to my channel. I am Michael, and today I have a particular message for spiritual warriors. I know you guys are pushing through these times and pushing through these moments, and they can be pretty challenging, especially if you're paying attention. And so the message today is really straightforward and really simple, and I hope this provides a lot of clarity for you. The fundamental principle that you are working with is perception. My friend, your only job is perception. What does that mean? We all know there's a lot of problems in the world. We all know that some problems are getting worse than others progressively. And what do we do about that? Well, traditionally, historically, in our own lives and the lives of most of humanity, we've looked outside of ourselves, looked at how we can control and manipulate the world outside of us in order to construct it or shape it or mold it into the shape or the frame that we want it to be in. If you hadn't noticed in your own personal journey, you'll notice soon enough, it doesn't really work. Really, the mechanical nature of reality only allows for radical massive change to happen when the inner world and the inner landscape, meaning perception, has shifted. Inner landscape is like a maze. There's a hallway that the energy rushes through our system in and out of, and depending on the beliefs and the perceptions that we have about ourselves, about life, about reality, about God, about spirit, determines the way or the direction or the clarity as to which that energy issues out of us. Our perception is the fundamental mechanism of understanding. And depending on how we understand ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, what we believe about ourselves, will be directly reflected out in the world around us. We will be directly receiving the reflection of our sense of worthiness, our perception of who God is in relation to us. And so what your work here to do is simply clarify and articulate and actualize clear perception. If you suffer, if you have pain, if you're broke, it's because your perception's broken. It's errored, it's incorrect, right? And along my journey, what I recognize is that there are particular principles and laws that govern reality. One of the laws is the law of Matthews, fundamentally saying that he who has will be added even more to him, and he who has not will lose even that he had. It's a little mechanism in reality. This is the very perfect center, right? The perfect center where everything's balanced. And then if you get off just a little bit into poverty mindset, you go, Whoop! And if you get into a good mindset, you go, Whoop! It's a law of momentum. It's a law of inertia, right? So what we're recognizing is that perfect, clear perception will lead us to the direction that we want to go. If we have errors in our perception, it'll pull us quickly and harshly to the direction we do not want to go. Poverty, brokenness, sadness, pain, suffering, we want to avoid those. That's what hell is. This law is allowing us to recognize how to get to heaven and how to get to hell in this life right now. Here we are. Some people are living on earth in hell. They really are. Some of us have lived there. I used to have a nice house in hell. I lived there for a long time. It's pretty bad. And I've also lived in heaven, meaning the perception that I have is more attuned to the perception that God carries. Christ was or Buddha or Krishna or whoever you want to say, was in possession of pure and clarified perception of reality. That's it. They didn't misinterpret themselves in relation to the world around them. They understood who they were. And the more that their lens was aligned with the lens of source, the intelligence of life, the intelligence of the cosmos unfolding, the more that their life was easy and clear and pure and happy and blissful and joyful. And the more that we in our own lives pinch away and go astray from the mind of God, the mind of intelligence, the mind of creative unfolding in reality, the more that we suffer, the more that we are away from that ridgeline where intelligence lives, where perfection lives, where abundance and beauty lives. But in order for you to actualize relationship with that ridgeline, with that current, with that momentum, with that tailwind that we call God or reality or source, you have to be able to recognize who that is in relation to you. How do you perceive that you have access to that ridgeline, to that current, that momentum? You recognize that you are also the Son of God. You are the son of God. You are the daughter. You are the child of God. And God has issued to you at least his own capacities, right? Christ came and said, you will do in the future more than what I've done. It's very natural, it's very normal to actualize a superhuman state of awareness. It's very normal. It's very normal for the human being to have perception in alignment with God. That's maybe you could say the metaphor of Genesis is that once we strayed from God's will, meaning the current or the groove of reality that's most efficient and effective in keeping and maintaining harmony, we strayed from that. And so our life and our society reflected that. We reflected the straying from the most efficient current of well-being. All of this happening around us in the cosmos and on Earth, in the jungle, has nothing to do with us. I'm not out there watering the jungle, no one else is. It's doing it by itself because there's an animating force behind it all. It's the current of spiraling evolution. And that's what, if we clarify our perception, we will have direct relationship with. And once and only once we have clear perception, will we be able to perceive in congruence with God. We will perceive that we are the life that God wants to live. And that if we clarify the way that we perceive and accord it and create it with an accordance with God, with source, with reality, with intelligence, with truth, with capital T truth, we will live equally as abundantly as the ridgeline itself. So, my friend, your journey is here, asking you not to change the world around you, not to change the people around you, not to change your outfit, none of it. None of that matters. All that will come in time when the perception that you carry, the belief system that you carry is accurate. When you clearly perceive yourself, when you clearly perceive the other, when you clearly perceive how the mechanical nature of reality works, you will be in harmony with it. Because if you're not in harmony with it, you'll perceive the dissonance and dis-ease and pain that is drawn out of that experience of dissonance with reality. And you'll become attuned to it. And you won't need to stay in that state for very long. You won't want to. There will be no point to. It'll take more energy for you to lean away from source than it will be to come back. But we've been inverted. And so how you go about this journey is pretty simple. Clarify your perception by aligning it with the mind of source. How do you, first and foremost, know what your perception is? What do you believe about yourself? Well, that's what the practices of journaling, self-inquiry, when you go to a therapist, all of these practices and processes are exactly that. Shadow work, psychedelics, any of these works are exactly drawing you to the experience of self-awareness. Know thyself. The most important thing you can take away from your entire spiritual journey, maybe your entire journey on earth period, is know thyself. And so the more that you have clear perception about yourself and the self, capital S, in you, the more that you'll have the abundant, beautiful, and incredibly spectacular life that Source has invited you to live. If you're here alive on earth, it's because life wants you to be here for the party. But you keep pinching yourself because you believe you're not worthy. We believe we're not there yet. We believe that we're not good enough. We haven't earned it because we perceive fundamentally inaccurately. Okay, my friends, I hope this was valuable. I hope this was useful. I hope that you see that all the busy work, all the nonsense, it's just distraction from the really primary goal of your journey here. The journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-awareness, and the journey of corrected, clear perception so that the source of energy, the energy that issues out of you, will be not impeded by misunderstandings, errors in perception, hatred, greed, judgment, separateness. Those all get in the way. Those are all inaccurate. Life will reward you when you are in congruence with life itself. My friend, perception is your only job. Take care. Much love. Keep attuning to the higher and clearer perception. If your perception isn't divine, if it's not led by love, if it's not led by connection and union, it's errored. All the way to the radical extreme. Many of the prophets of the past showed us that even in the most severe state, love and compassion and understanding and patience is your primary vessel of power. And the more that you clarify your perception, the more that you are easy to forgive because you know who they are. All right, my friend, my brother, my love, you got this. Thank you so much. Take care of your perception. Peace out. I worked for only 11 minutes and 11 seconds today. Oh.